Hey peeps, welcome to the second installment in the Glamour Magic series. This is more of a how-to video talking about kind of practically how I bring Glamour Magic into daily practice for myself. And I will include some journal prompts that you can explore yourself in the description box down below that can give you some insight into the type of Glamour Magic that you personally want to practice. So I mentioned in the first video in this series, which I will also try to remember to link down below, that I consider myself an energetic witch, and I do consider Glamour Magic a part of daily practice of my witchcraft. So I just want to break down what I mean by that and how I personally engage with that and give you a jumping off point to explore for yourself. My discussion of this in no way, shape, or form is saying that your experience of Glamour Magic or of engaging in energetic work in your personal practice needs to look like mine, or that you need to engage in it daily. As I said in the previous video, I don't wear makeup every day. I also don't wear makeup all day every day, but I do consider makeup an essential part of my practice as far as walking a path as a witch goes. So before I break everything down, I really recommend that you give Burning Woman by Lucy H. Pearce a read if you have not to date. It's very powerful, and it will help you reclaim your fire, your power, and your own magic as a woman. It's a very, very powerful and a great read. And I'm also recommending, again in this video, Your Beauty Mark by Dita von Teese for basic how-tos when it comes to eccentric glamour, vintage styling, red lipstick, winged eyeliner, and dressing in a way that allows you to feel sexy and feminine as well. There's some great recommendations in this book. And I love that so many of us feel called to explore this topic. Natalia from Tarot Shrink has a video called Her Red Lips Story with a wonderful hashtag if you want to participate in that. I will also put the link to that down below if I remember. And I do want to recommend deck-wise, working with the Goddess of Love Tarot by Gabby Herstick can be a wonderful companion to embracing this journey, whether you're new to Glamour Magic or it's something that you just want to brush up on in your practice right now. So when I talk about Glamour Magic, I just want to define what that is when I'm speaking about this on the channel. I'm really talking about working with items and objects to create an experience of empowerment for myself. This includes red lipstick. It includes eye makeup. It includes any form of makeup for me. It also includes what I choose to wear and the jewelry that I choose to wear as well. When you work with Glamour Magic, you're charging these kind of basic daily items with magical ability and capability. And for me specifically, that's around empowerment or amplifying a way that I want to feel or that I want to move through an experience or my day around. And I think we all engage in this to a certain extent. And so this is just bringing intention and awareness and focus to this. So much like I do a daily draw in the morning, I also, when I work with my daily draw, sit with, how do I feel today? What do I want to bring into my experience? How do I want to present myself? What would I like to protect? What do I want to be open to? And then I choose my makeup and my wardrobe based upon that, especially when I am engaging in work as a priestess, which means leading circles, engaging in readings and offerings for clients and community. What I choose to wear and the colors that I choose to work with, as well as the charged items, jewelry-wise, that I choose to wear become very, very important. One of my biggest teachers, Levity, really drove this point home to me. Now, I will say, from all of the door-to-door proselytizing that I did as a young child into my teenage years, how you present yourself, I did learn that lesson very clearly from that, matters a great deal in how you are received by others. If you want to blend into the background, there's a certain way that you can dress and look. If you want to show up front and center, if you want to be loud and proud, if you want to feel really authentically yourself, all of these things factor into how we present ourselves. And for those of us who identify as women who are embracing their feminine side, it's a unique part of our blueprint, if you will. So I was really engaging with an understanding around this due to the proselytizing, which is door to door, knocking on doors, spreading the good word about God. I did that in my teen years and in my very early childhood as well, and learned a lot from how people receive you based on how you look. I found that I was able to talk to people a lot more based on how I came across than if I was very monotone or disengaged and came across as disempowered. People had a very different experience. And then when I started to engage in shamanic work and stepped into mentorship work with Lippy and Teese, both of my teachers, Lippy really, really drove home for me how important how I looked when I engaged in my work as a priestess and as a witch was. So I was already engaging personally in my own makeup story and what was helping me to feel confident, and how I was presenting myself and what color my hair was and how I wanted to come across in the world as Racine, independent of the control that I dealt with as a child in my family unit. But Lippy really drove home for me the importance of how specific garb, specific colors, specific patterns worked elementally and worked in how you presented yourself as a priestess, holding space for sacred work. And she would get dressed specifically for each session, for each gathering. And when she was done, she took that garb off immediately as soon as, she was done with this was when everyone was doing everything in person. So of course, as soon as the gathering was over and she went back home, she would change immediately. And she had wardrobe for her various faces because she was also an opera singer. So this really drove home for me the importance of this specific type of magic. And that's why I think Glamour Magick is so, oh God, it's so wonderful and fun and delicious. And it's also very much a part of being empowered. What leads to the best experience with that is that your garb, your costume, how you choose to do your makeup, how you choose to dress is authentic to you. It has to be what allows you to feel empowered. So the first thing that you have to do if you want to really engage in Glamour Magick is get to know yourself and get to know what has you feeling the most empowered. So this means you have to experiment. You have to try some different things. You have to kind of get yourself out there, feel a little uncomfortable. And for me, over the years, it's always been about wearing things in public as well. When I really want to push myself to embrace something new about my personality, my identity, my character, my sense of who I am as a woman, I will explore different styles of clothing, different ways of doing my makeup, different ways of presenting myself. And then I will go out into the world. I'll go to the grocery store like that. I'll go to something at school for my son in that attire. Of course, not being inappropriate for him in that situation, but trying on those different styles allows me to express where I am and my current exploration as a soul and as a human at this point in time. And so I would say to you, if you really want to step into this, you've got to play a little bit. You've got to try some different things out and see where you feel the most confident. You'll know because you will feel confident. You will feel empowered. You may feel a little bit scared, but you also feel like, wow. It's like I said, the first time I put a red lip on, I was like, oh my God, I have claimed an experience that people were saying I was giving them, and now I've claimed it as my own. It's mine. I'm mine. This body is mine. It's not someone else's. And specifically for my story, it's not a man's, right? So very important to look at what colors speak to you. What do you want to say in how you present yourself? Believe it or not, all of these things are important to Glamour Magick. And if you really look at in the world, other women who have a solid sense of their style and themselves and who portray themselves in a way that you would like to come across as, they think about these things. Dita talks about that in the book, Your Beauty Mark. you sit with who you fundamentally are. And that doesn't mean you always have to be that way going forward. We're also shapeshifters. We get to explore different styles, different things that we want to bring in, right? And then you've got to try on those different things, right? Like I will say personally in my own journey, for years, I have never liked the color green, but lately I've been very drawn to jade green. And so I've been exploring for myself how I want to bring that into my experience. The colors make a difference. If you're like, oh my God, Rosanne, I don't even know where to start with color, draw a card from your deck, your favorite tarot deck, your favorite oracle deck that you love, and look at the colors in that card. Have fun exploring and trying that out yourself on your physical form. These are ways that you can connect with this energy. So you have to, well, I shouldn't say you have to. I have found you start by exploring who you are internally, by asking those little types of questions. I prefer to do that in journaling. Like, I'm really drawn to the color jade green right now. Why? What's calling to me about that? How can I bring that in? How can I explore that in my experience, right? So that is key to me. It's core to this type of magic, is actually really sitting with who am I and what do I want, how I present myself to express about me. This is where there's the difference between performing for the male gaze and empowerment. How I want to present myself is based on how I want to feel, not about how someone else wants me to look. And you'll know the difference because you'll feel disempowered, but you know other people are happy. And I'll give you a personal example of this. When I have my hair red, because everybody, general consensus is everyone prefers my hair the color red. When it's red, and I've only done red hair because I know that everybody says I look better with red hair, that's actually disempowering for me. But when I dye my hair red, when I change my hair color because I'm moving through something and I feel expansive and I want to work with Kali and I want to work with the element of fire, and my hair is red, I feel empowered. I love it, right? So that's the difference. It can be subtle, but it's there. You'll feel disempowered if it's not about you. If it's about you, you'll feel empowered. So do some journaling. Sit with who you are, where you're at now, what you want to bring in, and what colors you feel called to express that. Then you'll take that to makeup, wardrobe, aesthetic, what you have around you, and what you choose to carry with you. And this is the magic piece. The intention is, before I even touch my makeup shelves in my home, I've already done my daily draw, sat with the energy of the day that my guides, that the cards are letting me know about, and then sat with where I'm at and what I want to put out there. And that will inform if it's Belladonna 2 by Melt Cosmetics on my lips today, or Bloodflower by KVD Beauty, right? Like, that's going to inform the tone of red, or even if I do a black lip or a blue lip or a green lip. All of that is informed by, what I've already sat with in my daily draw and in my journaling for the day. And yes, I get up early in order to do that. So this type of work does require commitment and intention, but it pays off manifold. In manifold ways does this pay off, at least in my experience. So I look at my makeup as my armor in a positive way. It's like an energetic shield, but it's also self-expression. So I'm defining how I'm going to be experienced, and I'm defining also what I'm ready, willing, and able to welcome into my day based on what I choose to put on my face and then what I choose to wear. I am someone that has a little bit of a photographic memory, so I have my closet in my mind's eye. I have everything in my closet. Like, I can just tap into that visual when I'm journaling in the morning and be like, oh, I know I want to wear my Stevie Nicks black bell sleeve dress today with a very low cut collar because I really want to amplify how sexy I feel this morning, right? Or, oh, I really want to wear that black lace blouse with the big flowing sleeves because I feel romantic and I feel like I should be in a Waterhouse painting today, right? So I have like a little Rolodex in my mind and of my closet, of the items that I have in there and what I want to bring in to express that part of myself. And then the magic really happens in the creation piece. To me, the magician card happens here when I put the makeup on, when I put the clothing on. And then when I stand in front of the mirror, because if you've mentored with me as far as witchcraft goes, you know I'm a huge proponent of mirror magic. So then I'll stand in front of the mirror before I go about my day. I'll connect in energetically with deity that I feel. And I also connect in with kind of my own experience that I wish to have that day. So maybe I want to feel more empowered, and I'll stand in front of the mirror, look at what I've crafted as the magician with my tools, taking a moment to honor the essence within me that it exists no matter what I choose to wear or not wear, or across the board. And I'll just take a moment and kind of tap into the feeling, the experience that I want to have as Racine as I step out into the world, even if that's just drop off for my son in the morning before I start my readings for the day. So those items, the red lipstick, the rings, the necklace, these things I leave on my altar. Now, I don't leave my entire makeup kit on my altar because that would be too much, but I do also consider my makeup shelves an altar. So these things I lift above just being a thing, and they become a spiritual tool by the honor that I express in having that favorite red lipstick on the altar, and putting my rings, my earrings, my jewelry on the altar, and consecrating those in name of the deity I feel that they're closely connected with. And in knowing that when I wear those things, I can touch them, or I can look at my red lip and know that I'm connected with Isis, know that I'm connected with Hecate, know that I'm connected with Lilith, right? So all of these things are representation of the practice, and that's the magic. Then when we wear them, we have the desired experience. And it's not that we're like, I want to feel happy all the time. That's not the desired experience that you should be approaching your magical practice with. That you're missing the point there. That's another video. The desired experience that I want to have is that I show up fully to whatever happens. I'm not trying to craft or control the day. What I am trying to do is craft, be present to, and control to an extent how I'm going to show up to that. And if I have to have an interaction with someone who I know tends to send me over the edge, if I can touch this ring and know who I'm connected with during that experience, that helps me to breathe and be present and think consciously about how I want to engage with that person instead of react based upon childhood trauma. So you see how we're looking at these things as ways in which we show up more as ourselves, and we feel more empowered in our beings, in our bodies, and more connected to our bodies through the experiences. We're not trying to control or craft everything that happens through the day. And I say this, and I've talked about this over the years in various videos on the Tower card and tarot. We are all going to have Tower moments in our experiences as humans. We are. You cannot avoid those. We're meant to have those experiences because they create growth within us. They create growth, they create expansion, or contraction, they create evolution, they create experiences of death and rebirth. So the magical practice of that beautiful lipstick bullet, having that, carrying that in your purse, wearing it, taking it out as a weapon, if you will, it's not to stop yourself from ever feeling bad. It's to allow yourself to show up fully to the experience. And that's how I want to encourage you to look at Glamour Magick. Because if you're new to exploring this and you want to open up to this side of yourself, you want to have fun exploring the femme fatale that is Venus. It helps to be in alignment with the intention. And that's what makes it magical as opposed to just something that you enjoy doing. It's both. It's something that it should be something you enjoy doing, and it's a part of the magical practice of a witch. Now, we can work with Glamour Magick to magically impact through our energy an outcome so that we reach a desired outcome. That's another video because that's very specific and you want to be very careful and intentional with that type of work. In this Glamour Magick video, we're talking about the basics. We're talking about starting this journey, and it starts with journaling. It starts with looking at the colors that you're drawn to that let you feel empowered as a woman. When we look at the history of red lipstick, so much of it women who were sex workers, who were considered whores and harlots of the day, oftentimes wore it because it was, I shouldn't say that. They were at times forced to wear it, or they did wear the color red because it reminded men of women's vaginal lips, right? Of sex organs, and of having sex, right? And so it became, and it is, this color that is associated with lust, with passion. Think of Babylon the Great. She's surrounded in red, right? When we engage with the color red, we're affirming that our sexuality is okay, that it's safe, that we're allowed to be empowered. And not just our sexuality, but our ability to be present, to protect, to be intelligent, and to share and express that in the world. And so that's why blood red, vermilion red, crimson red, any of those very intense reds will always be my favorites, because I love connecting in with that lineage of, yes, I am sexy. I'm also powerful. I'm also intelligent, and I have something to say. And so I'm showing up at the table as an equal. So you want to look at those colors that create those feelings in you, a sense of empowerment, a sense of self, a sense of an ability to take up space, a sense of not being too much. And a good way to ride that line is to know when you feel like, am I being too much in this? Is this too much? That's a really great spot to do some journaling, and then push yourself a little bit and try wearing it, whether it's out in public or just around your apartment or home, in order to get comfortable with taking up space and comfortable with being seen. Now, in the same way, Glamour Magick can also reverse that, can be the flip side of that. There are times when I want to go to the grocery store and I don't want to have a conversation with someone. So I might dress a little more normally for that. That's an aspect of Glamour Magick. I feel like nude lips for me are the color that I wear when I want to blend in and when I want to come across as more mainstream. You know, there's a way you can wear a nude lip and still be yourself, but it is a different experience than a lip that has color or tonality to it, for sure. So these are things I want you to sit with and unpack as you step into the how-to aspect, because this is actually foundational to the how-to of Glamour Magick, and it's core. I think if you don't explore these things, it's not part of the magical practice, and it's not part of the energy work that you're engaging in, because you're imbuing the red lipstick, the taupe colored sweater, the black onyx ring. You're imbuing these things with magical power, with the intention, with energy. You amplify that by taking it to the sacred level and having it on the altar, or arranged in such a way that's pleasing to the eye. To me, if I can take something to beautiful for my eye, for my lens, then it becomes reverent, it becomes an honoring, and it becomes part of the sacred experience, right? Because we can look at everything as being alive and sacred, but when we bring the intention to it, that's when we elevate it for ourselves. And that's core to Glamour Magick to me. So if you want some homework from this video, because you guys know I love to give homework, I want you to think of an item that you love, be it makeup or jewelry, or even a piece of clothing, that when you wear it, you feel really sexy, you feel empowered, and you feel like you take up space. And then I want you to journal about why you have that experience with that item, and journal about yourself. And then you can go out there and buy that red lipstick that you've been dying to try, because wearing that red lip going forward is only going to be more empowering, sacred, and sexy for you, I promise. I hope you've enjoyed the first video in the Glamour Magick how-to series. I am sending you, as always, so much love and many blessings, and I will see you in the next video.